this is actually not easy to see engagement. We all kind of have a sense of what it is if it were to walk in the door, but it's actually really hard to monitor body language, facial expressions, all of those sort of outward behaviors, and stamp yes or no that student is engaged in that moment. Some other things that sort of limit this are from just direct observations. Things like implicit bias have been directly connected to doing a bad job of judging who is or who isn't engaged. We can only see behaviors from students. And then if we wanted to learn from the students, one downside is that if they are engaged, then in order to ask them if they're engaged, we distract them from that engagement, right? So there's sort of like this interesting little conundrum about how do we get this information in a meaningful way and not disrupt or distract or make judgments when we shouldn't be in trying to figure that out. So for me then, or perhaps why this gets even more complicated, is that engagement is actually made up of 4 different components, only one of which we can actually see with our own eyes, right? So it's got a social component, which looks at how students are interacting with each other in regards to the topic or the content, right? So what is the on-task interaction between students, and with whom do they choose to work if it's optional? There's an emotional side that where we can keep track of sort of how are the students feeling, or what are the affective responses that they have as they go through a lesson. There's the behavioral piece that we can see, but still aren't very good at evaluating, right? For example, the student leaned back with their arms crossed and their feet stretched out. Their body language may suggest less than attentive, but at the same time, we don't know what's going on in their mind, right? They could be paying very much attention to what we're doing, and we just don't know. And then what's going on within their mind is the cognitive bit, right?